Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the global economy is experiencing its deepest recession since the end of World War II. The impacts on developing countries have been the most severe, with an increase in food insecurity, unemployment, and 500 million more people falling below the poverty line. To stimulate economies and mitigate the impact of COVID-19, governments are undertaking large-scale expansionary fiscal measures. But announced spending to boost recovery in developed countries last year was 17 times greater on a per capita basis than in developing countries. Developing countries are faced with rising debts and limited fiscal space to finance urgent climate action. The good news is that climate-oriented packages can support economic recovery, create jobs, reduce emissions, and strengthen the resilience of communities. The IMF suggests that a world green stimulus of 0.8% of GDP annually between 2020 and 2030 would both accelerate the emissions reduction path and increase global growth recovery by about 0.6% of GDP annually. But the bad news is that so far, the recovery is not green. Early findings suggest that in the 50 largest economies, only 18% of recovery spending and only 2.5% of total spending are expected to enhance sustainability. So, what can we do to ensure that the world uses COVID-19 recovery measures to shift the economic paradigm toward low-emission, climate-resilient pathways? Here are 4 actions which the Green Climate Fund is promoting to support a green recovery in developing countries. First, fostering policy integration between climate action, sustainable development, and COVID-19 stimulus measures to minimize investment requirement and optimize development co-benefits. Second, exploring innovative financing instruments to create some fiscal space to finance their green climate resilient recovery plans, such as a debt moratorium and debt for climate swaps. Third, leveraging sovereign and multi-country guarantee funds to reduce investment risk and catalyze private investment. And finally, fourth, increasing developing countries' access to long-term affordable finance through greater access to green bond markets and private equity. Delivering this on a global scale will require coordinated international efforts, including a renewed commitment to deliver on the promise to mobilize over $100 billion in annual climate finance by 2020. The Green Climate Fund, as the world's largest climate fund for developing countries, stands ready to support the ambitious measures needed to ensure a green climate resilient recovery. Thank you very much for your attention.